Hello friends, happy new week, happy Monday, happy new play. Not a happy new play at all. The most lamentable Roman tragedy of Titus Andronicus. Now, as I said, I'm going slightly out of chronological order. This is very unlikely to have been the third play Shakespeare actually wrote, but he wrote it as a standalone in between other plays that I'm going to perform over 4 weeks because they form one big, huge history. Many people think it is Shakespeare's least liked play. That's because horror has always been overlooked. That's the easiest way to let you know what we're coming up against. It's horror. It's suspense. It is incredible cruelty being meted out and you screaming at people not to be so stupid. It's set in Rome. So what's Rome? Well, in the first scene, there is both an election and a human sacrifice. That's Rome. The election is for the successor to Caesar. His 2 sons are up for nomination, and the tribunes also want to nominate Titus Andronicus. That's what's going on there. The Romans have just won a battle against the Goths, who sort of lived kind of there. Goths are mentioned, and also, although he doesn't speak yet, Aaron the Moor, which means he came from here. There's a lot of Roman names. You might think I'm never going to keep track of all these. All you have to remember are 2 sons of the emperor, Saturninus and Bassianus. They normally address each other by name. And then the lead character, Titus Andronicus, his brother Marcus, who is a tribune. A tribune is sort of a politician, one of the representatives of the people. And then Titus has many, many sons, but it's all right. Most of them are dead. The one to really keep an eye on is Lucius, and he also has a daughter, Lavinia. And hopefully, if you can keep track of Saturninus, Bassianus, and then Titus, Marcus, Lucius, and Lavinia, you should be okay. Let's see, as always. Ta-da! Act 1, Scene 1. Flourish. Enter the tribunes and senators aloft, and then enter below Saturninus and his followers at one door, and Bassianus and his followers at the other, with drummer and colours. Saturninus. Noble patricians, patrons of my right, defend the justice of my cause with arms, and countrymen, my loving followers, plead my successive title with your swords. I am his firstborn son, that was the last that wear the imperial diadem of Rome. Then let my father's honours live in me, nor wrong mine age with this indignity. Bassianus. Romans, friends, followers, favourers of my right. If ever Bassianus, Caesar's son, were gracious in the eyes of royal Rome, keep then this passage to the capital, and suffer not dishonour to approach the imperial seat. To virtue consecrate, to justice, continence, and ability. But let desert in pure election shine, and Romans fight for freedom in your choice. Enter Marcus Andronicus, aloft, with the crown. Princes that strive by factions and by friends ambitiously for rule and empery, know that the people of Rome, for whom we stand a special party, have by common voice in election for the Roman empery chosen Andronicus, surnamed Pious for many good and great deserts to Rome. A nobler man, a braver warrior, lives not this day within the city walls. He, by the Senate, is a cited home from weary wars against the barbarous Goths, that with his sons a terror to our foes hath yoked a nation strong, trained up in arms. 10 years are spent since first he undertook this cause of Rome, and chastised with arms our enemies' pride. 5 times he hath returned bleeding to Rome, bearing his valiant sons in coffins from the field. And now, at last, laden with honour's spoils, returns the good Andronicus to Rome, renowned Titus, flourishing in arms. Let us entreat, by honour of his name whom worthily you would have now succeeded, and in the capital and senate's right, whom you pretend to honour and adore, that you withdraw you, and abate your strength. Dismiss your followers, and, as suitors should, plead your deserts in peace and humbleness. How fair the tribune speaks to calm my thoughts, Marcus Andronicus, so do I affy in thy uprightness and integrity, and so I love and honour thee and thine, thy noble brother Titus, and his sons, and her to whom my thoughts are humbled all, gracious Lavinia, Rome's rich ornament, that I will here dismiss, my loving friends, and to my fortunes and the people's favour commit my cause, in balance to be weighed. Exeunt his soldiers and followers. Friends that have been thus forward in my right, I thank you all, and here dismiss you all. and to the love and favour of my country commit myself, my person, and the cause. Exeunt his soldiers and followers. To the tribunes and senators, Rome, be as just and gracious unto me as I am confident and kind to thee. Open the gates and let me in. Tribunes and me, a poor competitor. Flourish. They go up into the Senate house. Enter a captain. Romans, make way! The good Andronicus, patron of virtue, Rome's best champion, successful in the battles that he fights, with honour and with fortune is returned from where he circumscribed with his sword and brought to yoke the enemies of Rome. Sound drums and trumpets, and then enter Marcius and Mucius, two of Titus' sons, and then men bearing coffins, covered with black. Then Lucius and Quintus, two other sons. Then Titus Andronicus in his chariot, and then Tamara, the queen of Goths, and her sons Alarbus, Chiron, and Demetrius, with Aaron the Moor and others, as many as can be. Then set down the coffins, and Titus speaks. Hail, Rome, victorious in thy morning weeds! Lo, as the bark that hath discharged his freight returns with precious lading to the bay, from whence at first she weighed her anchorage, cometh Andronicus, bound with laurel boughs, to resalute his country with his tears, tears of true joy for his return to Rome. Thou, great defender of this capital, stand gracious to the rights that we intend. Romans, of 25 valiant sons, half of the number that King Priam had, behold, the poor remains, alive and dead. These that survive, let Rome reward with love. These that I bring unto their latest home, with burial amongst their ancestors. Here Goths have given me leave to sheathe my sword. Titus, unkind, and careless of thine own, why sufferest thou thy sons unburied yet to hover on the dreadful shore of Styx? Make way to lay them by their brethren. They open the tomb. There, greet in silence as the dead are wont, and sleep in peace, slain in your country's wars. O sacred receptacle of my joys, sweet cell of virtue and ability, how many sons hast thou of mine in store that thou wilt never render to me more? Lucius. Give us the proudest prisoner of the Goths, that we may hew his limbs, and on a pile ad manes fratrum sacrifice his flesh before this earthy prison of their bones, that so the shadows be not unappeased, nor we disturbed with prodigies on earth. I give him you, the noblest that survives, the eldest son of this distressed queen. Tamara, kneeling. Stay, Roman brethren, gracious conqueror, victorious Titus. Rue the tears I shed, a mother's tears in passion for her son, and if thy sons were ever dear to thee, oh, think my son to be as dear to me. Sufficeth not that we're brought to Rome to beautify thy triumphs and return captive to thee and to thy Roman yoke, but must my sons be slaughtered in the streets for valiant doings in their country's cause? Oh, if to fight for king and commonwealth were piety in thine, it is in these. Andronicus, stain not thy tomb with blood. Wilt thou draw near the nature of the gods? Or draw near them then in being merciful? Sweet mercy is nobility's true badge. Thrice noble Titus, spare my firstborn son. Patience yourself, madam, and pardon me. These are their brethren whom your Goths beheld alive and dead, and for their brethren slain religiously they ask a sacrifice. To this your son is marked, and die he must, to appease their groaning shadows that are gone. Away with him, and make a fire straight, and with our swords upon a pile of wood, let's hew his limbs till they be clean consumed. Exeunt Titus' sons, with Alarbus. Oh, cruel irreligious piety! Chiron was never Scythia half so barbarous. Demetrius opposed not Scythia to ambitious Rome. Alarbus goes to rest. We survive to tremble under Titus' threatening look. And madam, stand resolved, or hope with all the self-same gods that armed the Queen of Troy with opportunity of sharp revenge upon the Thracian tyrant in his tent, may favour Tamara, the Queen of Goths. Then Goths were Goths, and Tamara was Queen, to quit her bloody wrongs upon her foes. Enter Quintus, Marcus, Lucius, and Lucius, the sons of Andronicus, again, with bloody swords. See, Lord and Father, how we have performed our Roman rites. Alarbus limbs are lopped, and entrails feed the sacrificing fire, whose smoke like incense doth perfume the sky. Remaineth naught but to inter our brethren, and with loud larums welcome them to Rome. Let it be so, and let Andronicus make this his latest farewell to their souls. Flourish, then sound trumpets, and lay the coffins in the tomb. In peace and honour rest you here, my sons. Rome's readiest champions, repose you here in rest, secure from worldly chances and mishaps. Here lurks no treason, here no envy swells, here grow no damned drugs, here are no storms, no noise, but silence and eternal sleep. In peace and honour rest you here, my sons. Enter Lavinia. Peace and honour live, Lord Titus long. My noble lord and father, live in fame. Lo, at this tomb my tributary tears I render for my brethren's obsequies kneeling, and at thy feet I kneel with tears of joy, shed on this earth for thy return to Rome. Oh, bless me here, with thy victorious hand, whose fortunes Rome's best citizens applaud. Kind Rome, thou hast thus lovingly reserved the cordial of mine age to glad my heart. Lavinia, outlive thy father's days, and fame's eternal date for virtue's praise. Lavinia rises. Enter Marcus aloft. Long live Lord Titus, my beloved brother, gracious triumpher in the eyes of Rome. Thanks, gentle tribune, noble brother Marcus, and welcome, nephews, from successful wars, you that survive, and you that sleep in fame. Fair lords, your fortunes are alike in all that in your country's service drew your swords, but safer triumph is this funeral pomp that hath aspired to Solon's happiness and triumphs over chance in honour's bed. Titus Andronicus, the people of Rome, whose friend in justice thou hast ever been, send thee by me their tribune and their trust, this palliament of white and spotless hue, and name thee in election for the empire with those our late deceased emperor's sons. Be candidatus then, and put it on, and help to set a head on headless Rome. A better head, a glorious body fits than his that shakes for age and feebleness. What, should I don this robe and trouble you, be chosen with proclamations today, and tomorrow yield up rule, resign my life, and set abroad new business for you all? Oh, Rome. I've been thy soldier 40 years, and led my country's strength successfully, and buried 21 valiant sons, knighted in field, slain manfully in arms, in right and service of their noble country. Give me a staff of honour for mine age, but not a sceptre to control the world. Upright he held it, lords that held it last. Titus, thou shalt obtain and ask the empery. Proud and ambitious tribune, canst thou tell? Patience, Prince Saturninus. Romans, do me right. Patricians, draw your swords and sheath them not till Saturninus be Rome's emperor. Andronicus would thus worship to hell rather than rob me of the people's hearts. Proud Saturnine, interrupter of the good the noble-minded Titus means to thee. Oh, content thee, prince. I will restore to thee the people's hearts and wean them from themselves. Andronicus, I do not flatter thee, but honour thee, and will do till I die. My faction, if thou strengthen with thy friends, I will most thankful be, and thanks to men of noble minds is honourable need. People of Rome, and people's tribunes here, I ask your voices and your suffrages, will ye bestow them friendly on Andronicus? Tribunes. To gratify the good Andronicus and gratulate his safe return to Rome, the people will accept whom he admits. Tribunes, I thank you. And this suit I make, that you create our emperor's eldest son, Lord Saturnine, whose virtues will, I hope, reflect on Rome as Titans raise on earth and ripen justice in this commonweal. Then, if you will elect, by my advice, crown him and say, long live our emperor. With voices and applause of every sort, patricians and plebeians, we create Lord Saturninus, Rome's great emperor, and say, long live our emperor Saturninus. A long flourish, while Marcus and the other tribunes with Saturninus and Bassianus come down. Marcus invests Saturninus in the white pallium and hands him a scepter. Titus Andronicus, for thy favours done to us in our election this day, I give thee thanks in part of thy deserts, and will with deeds requite thy gentleness. And for an onset, Titus, to advance thy name and honourable family, Lavinia will I make my empress, Rome's royal mistress, mistress of my heart, and in the sacred pantheon her espouse. Tell me, Andronicus, doth this motion please thee? It doth, my worthy lord, and in this match I hold me highly honoured of your grace, and here in sight of Rome to Saturnine, king and commander of our commonweal, the wide world's emperor, do I consecrate my sword, my chariot, and my prisoners. Presents well worthy Rome's imperious lord. Receive them then, the tribute that I owe, mine honours ensigns humbled at thy feet. Thanks, noble Titus, father of my life. How proud I am of thee and of thy gifts, Rome shall record. And when I do forget the least of these unspeakable deserts, Romans, forget your fealty to me. To Tamara, now, madam, are you prisoner? To an emperor? To him that for your honour and your state will use you nobly and your followers. As a goodly lady, trust me. Of the hue that I would choose, were I to choose anew. Clear up, fair queen, that cloudy countenance. Though chance of war have wrought this change of cheer, thou camest not to be made a scorn in Rome. Princely shall be thy usage every way. Rest on my word, and let not discontent daunt all your hopes, madam. He comforts you, can make you greater than the Queen of Goth. Lavinia, you are not displeased with this? Not I, my lord, with true nobility, warrants these words in princely courtesy. Thanks, sweet Lavinia. Romans, let us go. Ransomless here we set our prisoners free. Proclaim our honours, lords, with tramp and drum. Flourish, excellent Saturninus, Tamara, Demetrius, Chiron, and Aaron the Moor. Bassianus. Lord Titus, by your leave, this maid is mine. How, sir? Were you in earnest then, my lord? I, noble Titus, and resolved withal to do myself this reason and this right. Marcus. Suum cumque is our Roman justice. This prince in justice seizeth but his own, Lucius, and that he will and shall if Lucius live. Traitors of want! Where's the emperor's guard? Mutius. Brothers, help to convey her hence away, and with my sword I'll keep this door safe. Exeunt Bassianus, Marcus, Quintus, and Marcius, with Lavinia. My lord, you shall not pass here. What, villain boy, barrest me my way to Rome? He attacks Marcius. Help, Lucius, help! Titus kills him. My lord, you are unjust, and more than so, in wrongful quarrel you have slain your son. Nor thou, nor he, nor any sons of mine. My sons would never so dishonour me. Traitor, restore Lavinia to the emperor! Dead, if you will, but not to be his wife. That is another's lawful promised love. Exit with Mutius' body. Enter aloft Saturninus the emperor with Tamara and Chiron and Demetrius, her 2 sons, and Aaron the Moor. Follow, my lord, and I'll soon bring her back. No, Titus, no! The emperor needs her not. Nor her, nor thee, nor any of thy stock. I'll trust my leisure him that mocked me once, thee never, nor thy traitorous haughty sons, confederates all thus to dishonour me. Or was none in Rome to make a stale but Saturnine? Full well, Andronicus, agree these deeds with that proud brag of thine that says, I beg the empire of thy hands. O monstrous! What reproachful words these? But go thy ways. Go give that changing peace to him that flourished for her with his sword. A valiant son-in-law thou shalt enjoy, one fit to bandy with thy lawless sons to ruffle in the commonwealth of Rome. These words are razors to my wounded heart. And therefore, lovely Tamara, queen of Goth, that like the stately Phoebe mongst her nymphs dost overshine the gallantest dames of Rome, if thou be pleased with my sudden choice, behold, I choose thee, Tamara, for my bride, and will create thee Empress of Rome. Speak, Queen of Goths, dost thou applaud my choice? And here I swear by all the Roman gods, Sith, priest, and holy water are so near, and tapers burn so bright, and everything in ready for Hymenaeus stand, I will not resalute the streets of Rome, or climb my palace, till from forth this place I lead, espoused, my bride along with me. And here in sight of heaven, to Rome I swear, if Saturnine advance the Queen of Goths, she will a handmaid be to his desires, a loving nurse, a mother to his youth. Ascend, fair queen, Pantheon. Lords, accompany your noble emperor and his lovely bride, sent by the heavens for Prince Saturnine, whose wisdom hath her fortune conquered. There shall we consummate our spousal rites. Exeunt all but Titus. I am not bid to wait upon this bride. Titus, when wert thou wont to walk alone, dishonoured thus, and challenged of wrongs? Enter Marcus and Titus' sons Lucius, Quintus, and Marcius, carrying Mucius's body. O Titus, see! O see what thou hast done! In a bad quarrel, slain a virtuous son. No, foolish tribune, no, son of mine! Nor thou, nor these confederates in the deed that hath dishonoured all our family! Unworthy brother and unworthy sons! But let us give him burial as becomes. Give Mucius burial with our brethren. Traitors away! He rests not in this tomb! This monument 500 years hath stood, which I have sumptuously re-edified. Here none but soldiers and Rome's servitors repose in fame, none basely slain in brawls. Bury him where you can, he comes not here. My lord, this is impiety in you. My nephew Mucius' deeds do plead for him. He must be buried with his brethren, Quintus and Marcius, and shall, or him we will accompany, and shall? What villain was it speak that word? He that would vouch it in any place but here. What, would you bury him in my despite? No, noble Titus, but entreat of thee to pardon Mucius, and to bury him. Marcus, even thou hast struck upon my crest, and with these boys mine honour thou hast wounded. My foes, I do repute you, every one, so trouble me no more and get you gone. He is not with himself, let us withdraw, not I, till Mucius' bones be buried. Marcus, Lucius, Quintus, and Marcius kneel. Brother, for in that name doth nature plead. Father, and in that name doth nature speak. Speak thou no more, if all the rest will speed. Renown it, Titus, more than half my soul. Dear father, soul and substance of us all, suffer thy brother Marcus to inter his noble nephew here in virtue's nest, that died in honour and Lavinia's cause. Thou art a Roman, be not barbarous. The Greeks upon advice did bury Ajax that slew himself, and wise Laertes' son did graciously plead for his funerals. Let not young Mucius, then, that was thy joy, be barred this entrance here. Rise, Marcus, rise. The dismalest day is this that e'er I saw, to be dishonoured by my sons in Rome. Well, bury him and bury me the next. They put Mucius in the tomb. There lie thy bones, sweet Mucius, with thy friends, till we with trophies do adorn thy tomb, all but Titus kneeling. No man shed tears for noble Mucius. He lives in fame that died in virtue's cause. Exeunt. All but Marcus and Titus. My lord, to step out of these dreary dumps, How comes it that the subtle queen of Goths is of a sudden thus advanced in Rome? I know not, Marcus, but I know it is. Whether by device or no, the heavens can tell. Is she not then beholden to the man that brought her for this high good turn so far? Yes, and will nobly him remunerate. Flourish, enter the Empress Saturninus, Tamara, and her 2 sons, Chiron and Demetrius, with Aaron the Moor at one door. Enter at the other door Bassianus and Lavinia, with Lucius Quintus and Marcius. So, Bassianus, you have played your prize. God give you joy, sir, of your gallant bride, and you of yours, my lord. I say no more, nor wish no less, and so I take my leave. Traitor! If Rome have law or we have power, thou and thy faction shall repent this rape. Rape? Call you it, my lord, to seize my own, my true betrothed love, and now my wife? But let the laws of Rome determine all. Meanwhile am I possessed of that is mine. It is good, sir. You are very short with us, but if we live, we'll be as sharp with you. My lord, what I have done as best I may, answer I must, and shall do with my life. Only thus much I give your grace to know. By all the duties that I owe to Rome, this noble gentleman, Lord Titus here, is in opinion and in honour wronged. That in the rescue of Lavinia with his own hand did slay his youngest son in zeal to you, and highly moved to wrath to be controlled in that he frankly gave. Receive him then to favour, Saturnine, that hath expressed himself in all his deeds a father and a friend to thee and Rome. Prince Bassianus, leave to plead my deeds. Is thou and those that have dishonoured me? He kneels. Rome and the righteous heavens be my judge how I have loved and honoured Saturnine. Tamara to Saturninus. My worthy lord, if ever Tamara were gracious in those princely eyes of thine, then hear me speak indifferently for all, and at my suit sweet, pardon what is past. What, madam, be dishonoured openly, and basely put it up without revenge? Not so, my lord. The gods of Rome forfend I should be author to dishonour you, but on mine honour dare I undertake for good Lord Titus innocence in all, whose fury not dissembled speaks his griefs. Then at my suit look graciously on him. Lose not so noble a friend on vain suppose, nor with sour looks afflict his gentle heart. Aside to Saturninus. My lord, be ruled by me, be one at last. Dissemble all your griefs and discontents. You are but newly planted in your throne. Less than the people, and patricians too, upon a just survey take Titus' part, and so supplant you, for ingratitude, which Rome reputes to be a heinous sin, yield at entreats. And then let me alone. I'll find a day to massacre them all, and raise their faction and their family, the cruel father and his traitorous sons, to whom I sued for my dear son's life, and make them know what is to let a queen kneel in the streets and beg for grace in vain. Come, come, sweet emperor, come, Andronicus, take up this good old man, and cheer the heart that dies in tempest of thy angry frown. Rise, Titus, rise, my empress hath prevailed. I thank your majesty and her, my lord. These words, these looks infuse new life in me. Titus, I am incorporate in Rome, a Roman now adopted happily, and must advise the emperor for his good. This day all quarrels die, Andronicus, and let it be mine honour, good my lord, that I have reconciled your friends and you. For you, Prince Bassianus, I have passed my word and promise to the emperor that you will be more mild and tractable. And fear not, lords, and you, Lavinia, by my advice, all humbled on your knees, you shall ask pardon of his majesty. Bassianus, Lavinia, Lucius Quintus, and Marcius kneel. Lucius, we do, and vow to heaven and to his highness that what we did was mildly as we might, tendering our sister's honour and our own. That on mine honour here do I protest. Away, and talk not, trouble us no more. Nay, 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 sweet emperor, we must all be friends. The tribune and his nephews kneel for grace. I will not be denied, sweetheart, look back. Marcus, for thy sake, and thy brothers here, and at my lovely Tamara's entreats, I do remit these young men's heinous faults. Stand up. Marcus, Bassianus, Lavinia, and Titus' sons stand. Lavinia, though you left me like a churl, I found a friend. and sure as death I swore I would not part a bachelor from the priest. Come, if the Emperor's court can feast 2 brides, you are my guest, Lavinia, and your friends. This day shall be a love day, Tamora. Tomorrow, and it please your majesty to hunt the panther in the hart with me, with horn and hound will give your grace bonjour. So be it, Titus, and for mercy too. Flourish. Excellent. And that is the first act of Titus Andronicus. When I've done the second act, it will go up there. There I'll put the first episode of Taming of the Shrew, which was last week's show. Thank you very much for watching. There's a tip jar below if you want to leave tips. There's comments if you want to say or ask anything. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you're all doing tremendously. Goodbye.